Most men don't realize this yet, but the war for your soul in 2026 is not loud. It's not dramatic, it's quiet, comfortable, and disguised as normal life. Satan doesn't need to destroy men anymore. He just needs to distract them, numb them, and delay them. Because a distracted man never becomes dangerous, a numb man never fights back, and a delayed man never walks in his calling. So let me tell you the truth most men won't hear. Satan is not afraid of men who believe in God. He's afraid of men who are disciplined, obedient, and active. Church-going men don't scare him. Men who pray, fast, train, and take responsibility do. So how does he keep men weak in 2026? 1. He traps men in constant dopamine. In 2026, temptation doesn't chase men. It waits in their pockets. Infinite scrolling, endless content, instant pleasure. Men are overstimulated but underdeveloped. They feel tired without working, empty without struggling, burned out without building anything meaningful. Dopamine becomes the drug. Comfort becomes the prison. And when a man's nervous system is fried, he has no hunger for God, no patience for growth, and no strength for discipline. A numb man doesn't pray. He scrolls. He doesn't confront his weakness. He distracts himself until the feeling passes. And the danger isn't that he feels nothing. It's that he gets used to it. Days pass without silence. Weeks pass without reflection. Months pass without direction. Not because life is hard, but because life is loud. And slowly the inner fire fades, not in rebellion, not in open sin, but in quiet neglect. A man doesn't wake up one day far from God. He drifts there, one scroll at a time. He tells himself he'll pray later, he'll fast later, he'll lock in later, but later keeps moving, and Satan knows this. He knows if he can keep a man distracted long enough, that man will mistake delay for peace and comfort for rest. But comfort never strengthens men, it sedates them. That's why Satan numbs men before he tempts them. Because a numb man won't fight temptation, he'll welcome it. He won't guard his mind, he'll open it. He won't resist, he'll rationalize. And when temptation finally arrives, it won't feel like an enemy. It will feel familiar, like something he deserves, like something he's been working toward, like something harmless. But what he doesn't see is that every moment of numbness is a moment his edge is being dulled. His discernment weakens, his hunger fades, his urgency disappears, until one day he looks up and realizes he's been busy for years but built nothing eternal. That's how Satan weakens men first, not with force, not with fear, but with endless comfort and constant distraction. A man breaks numbness by starving distraction. That means no phone first thing in the morning, no endless scrolling to relax, no constant background noise. 2. He uses lust to drain spiritual authority. Lust doesn't just affect behavior, it erodes identity. It teaches men to seek pleasure instead of purpose, fantasy instead of responsibility, escape instead of obedience. Every relapse whispers the same lie. You're weak. You'll never change. Why even try? And Satan loves that lie. Because a man who feels unworthy won't approach God boldly. He'll hide, delay repentance, avoid prayer, not because God rejects him, but because shame convinces him to run away. And here's the part men don't talk about. Lust doesn't only steal purity, it steals confidence. A man starts to feel double-minded. He says one thing, but does another. So he stops trusting himself. And when a man doesn't trust himself, he stops leading. He stops being consistent, stops being firm, stops taking action. He becomes passive, and that's exactly what Satan wants. Because a passive man is harmless. Lust turns warriors into spectators. It keeps men watching other people live instead of building their own life. It keeps men consuming instead of creating. It keeps men chasing a feeling instead of chasing God. And the longer it goes on, the more the enemy uses it as a leash. A man can be gifted, but lust will make him undisciplined. A man can be called, but lust will make him inconsistent. A man can love God, but lust will keep him stuck in guilt, always restarting, always trying again, but never building momentum. Because the enemy's plan isn't just to make you sin, it's to make you stop believing you're a man of power. You don't beat lust by trying harder. You beat lust by changing the system around your life. Because lust thrives in secrecy, comfort, and access. So the solution is the opposite. Cut off easy access. You can't pray your way out of a fire while pouring gasoline on it. If your phone is the doorway, you shut the door. Unfollow triggers, block pages, filter your browser, delete apps if you must. Don't take your phone into the bathroom or bed. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. A strong man doesn't test himself with temptation. He protects his mind like a soldier. 3. He distracts men with relationships before purpose. Notice this carefully. Satan doesn't always destroy men with bad women. Sometimes he distracts them with the wrong timing. Men chase validation instead of mission, affection instead of assignment. They want comfort before calling, intimacy before identity. So they invest emotional energy into relationships they're not prepared to lead, while neglecting the discipline God is trying to build. A man without direction will use relationships as a distraction. The solution is not avoiding women. The solution is order, because relationships are not the enemy. Distraction is. A man must understand this first. A relationship is not meant to give you direction. It's meant to walk with the direction you already have. So the first step is clarity. A man must ask himself honestly, where am I going? What am I building? What has God called me to become in this season? Until those questions have answers, a relationship will only drain energy instead of multiplying it. A man breaks this trap by refusing premature intimacy, not just physical, emotional, oversharing, constant texting, emotional dependence. Those things pond you before you're anchored, and bonding without direction creates confusion, distraction, and compromise. A disciplined man guards his emotional energy the same way he guards his body. Feelings fluctuate, standards protect. When standards are clear, distraction loses power. If a relationship pulls you away from prayer, weakens your routine, distracts you from growth, makes you complacent, then it doesn't matter how attractive it is. A man does not build his life around affection. He builds it around obedience. A man also must learn to be complete alone, not lonely, not isolated, but whole. When a man knows who he is, he doesn't chase validation. He chooses wisely. He doesn't need attention to feel valuable. He already knows his worth, and a man who knows his worth cannot be easily distracted. 4. He convinces men that prayer is optional. One of the greatest lies in 2026 is this: prayer can wait. Men treat prayer like a backup plan instead of a weapon. They try discipline without God, strength without the Spirit, control without surrender, and they burn out. Because spiritual battles can't be won with physical effort alone. A prayerless man is always fighting uphill. Prayer is not a mood, it's a position. The solution is not praying more emotionally, it's praying more consistently. A man must stop treating prayer like an emergency tool and start treating it like daily training. You don't wait until the battle is loud to pick up your weapon. You pray when you're calm. You pray when you're focused. You pray when nothing feels urgent. Because prayer is not just how you ask God for help, it's how you stay aligned. A man restores prayer by lowering the barrier to entry, not long prayers. Not fancy words, not perfect posture, simple, daily, honest. 5 minutes in the morning. God, order my mind today. God, strengthen my discipline. God, help me choose obedience. That consistency builds spiritual momentum. A man who prays daily doesn't drift far before conviction pulls him back. Next, prayer must come before effort, not after burnout. Most men pray once they are exhausted. Strong men pray before they engage, before work, before training, before decisions, before temptation, because discipline without prayer becomes pride, and pride always collapses. Prayer keeps strength humble and effort aligned. Then comes this shift. Prayer is not passive, it's warfare. When a man prays, he sharpens discernment, strengthens resistance, realigns desire, restores authority. A prayerless man fights uphill. A praying man fights with gravity on his side. This is the truth most men don't want to hear. Satan doesn't need to destroy men violently anymore. He just needs to keep them distracted, isolated, passive, and prayerless. But when a man wakes up, everything changes. When prayer becomes daily, when discipline becomes normal, when isolation is broken, when purpose comes first, that man becomes dangerous again. Not loud, not flashy, but grounded, focused, unshakable. The devil is not afraid of men who attend church. He's afraid of men who pray, obey, and take responsibility. If this message hit you, don't scroll past it. Like this video so it reaches another man who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you're serious about discipline, purpose, and walking with God in this generation. This channel is for men who are done being distracted and ready to rise. We're not here to motivate. We're here to build disciplined men. See you in the next one.